Hey, what's up guys? Tom here. You may remember me from such videos as others on this channel, but I know it's been a while. Sorry, let me turn this down. I know it's been a while since I uploaded. Kind of took a break from YouTube. Had some personal stuff going on. Wasn't really feeling it, so... But I'm back, not to talk about me and my bullshit, just to talk about Teddy, Eat Sleep Vinyl. If you don't know him, definitely go check out his channel. I'll leave a link in the description. You guys probably all know who he is. Watch his videos. Awesome dude. Really cool, smart. Really generous. But I just love his descriptions of records. And I wish I could kind of get my point across as to how I feel about music like he does. So, but anyways, I want to say a huge thank you to Teddy. One of his friends was selling his record collection, unfortunately, for whatever reason, and Teddy hit up a few of us in BC asking if we, wanted any of the records. So it's like, sure, take a look. And then after Teddy sent over kind of what he had to offer, I was all in. Amazing selection of stuff. As you could probably imagine, anyone who's friends with Teddy, would probably have a great taste in music, and it was no exception. So this is probably going to be a few different parts. This first one here is going to be all Sun Ra stuff, and I picked up from his friend some originals, a couple later pressings, but all awesome, amazingly clean. This guy took amazing shape of his records. They really look like they've been unplayed. I'm sure they have, but just amazing shape. So without further ado, without talking anymore, just get into it. First up here, Bad and Beautiful, Sun Ra and his Arkestra. This is from '72, I believe. El Saturn, obviously, like all of these will be. Sorry, I got a new camera, so I'm trying to kind of figure out. Sorry if there's a glare, but first time really recording with it. So anyway, El Saturn, amazing, awesome stuff. This is the second record, I believe, when the Arkestra moved from Chicago to New York. So kind of a smaller group. They weren't all in New York yet. Basically, it just has Pat Patrick, John Gilmore, Sun Ra, Marshall Allen. Who else is on this? There's a few others I'm probably missing. Marshall Allen, Ronnie Boykins, and Tommy Hunter. Just the percussionist, drummer / kind of just look at their sound and engineer, stuff like that. So, but amazingly clean, just awesome. I believe it's the first press of this record, from what I can tell. Like I said, not actually released until '72, but recorded, I believe, in '60. I don't even know when this was recorded, actually. '65, I want to say? No, it had to have been earlier than that, so '61 maybe. Something like that, '62, but anyway, fantastic. Kind of a transitional LP, I guess. I haven't really delved fully into these. I just kind of wanted to come on and talk about them a little bit. Just a little bit I do know, and from what I have listened to. This one kind of was more as a transitional LP, like I said. First of all, you have a smaller group. The sound isn't as out, definitely more in kind of like a be-bop, hard bop, space age kind of style. Although definitely veering a bit into exploration territory, especially on side 2 of this. You can definitely hear the shift happening though. Like I said, I believe this is actually kind of known in the community as like one of their more records. So, but anyway, Bad and Beautiful, cool record with one I never really spent too much time with before. So, really cool to finally have an OG. Next up here, Fate in a Pleasant Mood. Sun Ra and his Myth Science Arkestra on this one. This is an original on the gold and red Saturn label. Sorry about all the glare. Maybe I should just take it out of here. Yeah, 1965. Recorded in 1960 in Chicago, but not released until 65. So, as most Sun Ra LPs are, if you don't know, they're usually released at a later date when they're recorded, but just incredibly clean once again. Just super, super cool. On this one, John Gilmore, Marshall Allen, Ronnie Boykins. Phil Coran is actually on this. Plays trumpet. George Hudson, Eddie Skinner, and Sun Ra on piano. So that's the lineup. This label maybe a little bit better there. Yeah, awesome though. Bit more kind of post-bop, avant-garde, I guess. Although still definitely like pretty firmly rooted in the bebop kind of space. The tracks on this and a few other records were actually taken from like a long recording session from about 30 to 40 different tracks recorded at the same time. You know, just going for many, many hours on end. And the tracks were kind of just like divided up between albums. So it was this one, Angels and Demons at Play. What else was it? Interstellar Loways, I know, was one of them. Holiday for Soul Dance, and We Travel Spaceways. All those tracks came out of one session, so, or all those albums, I should say. Pretty cool. Yeah, like I said, definitely not as out some of this later stuff, but really cool. I really enjoy this. You know, I love having any Sun Ra stuff, so really like the cover on this one too. Kind of interesting, but don't want to take up too much time on each one. Next up, this was a pretty well-known cover, I would say. Art Forms of Dimensions Tomorrow. Once again, this is one of the first records recorded in New York. When they got to New York, they recorded sometime between 61 and 62 at the choreographer's workshop. Excuse me, one of their spaces that they played in. I think it was kind of like the space that they played in when they actually got to New York. They spent most of their time at it. I always like the front cover of this. Cover art, just really simple, but really cool. On this one, you have John Gilmore, Marshall Allen, Pat Patrick, Ronnie Boykins, Clifford Jarvis. Clifford Thornton actually plays on this as well. So there's the full lineup if you're interested at all. Yeah, like I said, 61, 62, so it was recorded, not released until 65, but sort of a split album actually. Some of the tracks were definitely more out and sort of frenzied, definitely, you know, more in that vein, and the others kind of seemed to be a bit more in, so definitely one of the first albums that was kind of heavily use of reverb, the reverb effect. This is definitely one of the first records that was kind of, you know, a thing, I guess. But it definitely happened a lot more in his later recordings, so in his shows, from what I understand. But yeah, really cool. Sun Ra and his Solar Orchestra on this one. Art Forms of Dimensions Tomorrow. Really awesome. One that I was really excited about. This is one of my favorite Sun Ra records. So really cool just to have, you know, Secrets of the Sun. I believe this is his Solar Orchestra as well. So usually this is a purple cover. This is a black and white cover. I think this is one of the later pressings. Is a 70s pressing, and originally came out in 65 or something. So I believe it came out in 65, I want to say. Yeah, recorded in 62 and then didn't come out until 65, so. Another one that was recorded in New York at the choreographer's workshop as well, I believe. A couple of tracks on this actually kind of stayed as a part of Sun Ra's sort of concert routine. Definitely went into the repertoire of his usual shows. Another one that I love the cover. It's might be one of my favorite covers. Excuse me, of Sun Ra. Later '70s pressing, but still amazing. Really, really cool. Art Jenkins is on this doing something called Space Voice, which is basically just him playing a ram's horn backwards, and he's just kind of talking into it backwards, I guess. It's kind of what I read, so sort of interesting. Sun Ra said he wanted something that hasn't been done before, I guess, and everything that he was coming to him with, he wasn't feeling. So that was the thing that really did it, was a backwards ram horn, I guess. But yeah, like I said, one of my favorite records from Sun Ra. Personally, just the music is definitely more kind of, I would say, rooted on Earth, so to speak, but the solos are definitely starting to take off more into outer space, so you kind of get a best of both worlds sort of thing. But yeah, I love it. Check it out if you haven't heard this album yet. I know it's it's out there. It's on Bandcamp, on YouTube, whatever. One that actually has a hand-painted sleeve, which I don't have a lot of. This is Oblique Parallax from 1981, which was recordings pulled from a live show, I guess like their residency when they were at the Jazz Center in Detroit. I think it was late, like December 1980 to January 1981. They had a week full of shows. So it was this and another record called Beyond the Purple Star Zone, something like that. I believe that's what it's called. Both came out of those shows. This one being the more well-known one for sure. This one has a bunch of different versions of it. Some have, Sun Ra's picture pasted on the cover. Some, obviously different labels. This one has hand-drawn artwork. So there's the other side of that label. But the 80s records were definitely more out when it comes to the music, for sure, I would say. Yeah, this one being definitely not an easy listen by any means, especially if you're not into Sun Ra. You're new to his catalog, is definitely one as I wouldn't recommend as a first listen, but still really cool. Just check out if you're open to exploratory music, then definitely check it out. But the first couple tracks here, you have Sun Ra soloing on his mini moog. And I wrote down some notes here because, like I said, these are pretty new to me, so I wouldn't, I definitely wouldn't know right away. But yeah, so Sun Ra does some soloing on his electric organ. Actually, the first couple tracks. The third track is a trio with Sun Ra switches to piano, and then there's a French horn player, a drummer, and the last track basically is like a 30-minute jam with the whole Arkestra. They come in, really cool free jazz jam. But yeah, their whole residency there at the Jazz Center in Detroit was really cool. They had Sun Ra's original paintings on display. They had some of his home movies that they were showing. They had like a slideshow that they used photos from Lenny Sinclair, I believe her name. She's a photographer that did the slideshow, so pretty cool. Yeah, if you're into Sun Ra, you've probably seen Oblique Parallax before a few times. It's pretty common, I guess, as far as Sun Ra records go. So I picked up a couple versions of it, actually. That's one. And then the other one is right here, just a different cover. This one has photos stuck to it, and then orange labels. Oh, sorry about the glare. Orange labels on both sides, but the music is exactly the same. So that's still pretty cool. Last one here is Horizon from the Arkestra's first trip to Egypt in 1971. So recorded in 71, but not released until 73. like I said, like much of their output. This was really cool. The show was sponsored by the Egyptian Ministry of Culture, which is really awesome. I doubt anyone in the U.S. would sponsor a Sun Ra show, but I guess you never know. But I'm sure Egypt was a really great place for Sun Ra, being who he is and believing what he believed. I'm sure he was ecstatic to be there. But you can kind of hear it in the music too. It's pretty crazy, pretty intense. Free jazz, kind of intense flute, sax, mini moog, soundscapes, awesome solos. The playing is kind of, it's sharp, it's, I don't know, visceral, just really, really cool. Really cool. The recording isn't perfect, obviously, like a lot of Sun Ra stuff. You could hear people, kind of moving closer and farther away from the microphone as they walk away. You hear people walking by, but definitely an awesome artifact. Worth a listen for sure. This one actually has just a blank label on the A side. Just the B side has an actual label. And then the A side is just nothing. On the back of this is just nothing. So, obviously all their records and stuff are just handmade, put together. So they did whatever they felt like doing, But I just wanted to come on and show those real quick. Just sort of a comeback video. I do have more stuff to show that I received from Teddy, and also just in general that I picked up over the time I've been gone. Yeah, more Strata E stuff from Teddy, and just, like I said, other stuff. So definitely a little bit rusty at making, talking to the camera and making videos. Definitely out of it. So, but thank you for watching. Like I said, go check out Teddy's channel. I'll leave his channel link in the description. He does have more records that he will be selling from that collection. I know he has more Blue Note stuff, like I said, Impulse stuff, just other records. I don't know if he has any more Sun Ra. I don't think so. I'm sorry, but I know he has other stuff, so definitely look forward to that. I believe he'll be selling those to their channel. So that's it. Thanks, guys. Give me comments if you want, and hopefully I'll be back sooner than later. All right, peace.